Classic League Podcast time! Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 268 of the Classic Elite Podcast. My name is Scott. I've got Dustin with me. Dustin, what's going on, man?
I think I sunk down too far in my chair.
You're a little low.
I'm sitting there yawning, and
you were listening to too much Cracker before you got on the podcast.
Yes.
I rode my bike to Taco Bell because that song was on a compilation CD. And
all right.
And I was like, I guess we can Google whenever that compilation Taco Bell CD came out. Good song. So, Dustin, man, how's the week been? How things going for you?
It's doing that thing again where it's like the weekend's only halfway over, but like, how is it already late March?
Okay. Did you intentionally are you confusing me on purpose? Because you said the weekend is half over, or you said the weekend is halfway here, then we're halfway through March. Was that intentional?
That was not intentional.
Okay, go back and listen to what you said when we post this. You make too many smart jokes that go over my head. I thought this was what we were in the middle of right there.
No, it's just me being tired and not speaking clearly.
That proves your point. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, week's been all right for me. So I'm looking forward to podcasting. Up front, we got a quick announcement. A little bit. If you are watching this live, maybe I'll try to get the podcast posted tomorrow. Or if you're hearing this after the fact, there should be an archive of Dustin and I streaming the new game A Way Out. Is that what it's called? A Way Out, I think. I think I called it No Way Out last week. Yeah, it's called A Way Out. It's by the Brothers. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons developer. This is the co-op prison break game. And if I was ever going to try to break out of a prison with anybody, Dustin, it would be you.
All right.
You've been through a haunted house. You've solved hard escape room puzzles.
True story.
You limped me across the finish line in Portal, so I think this will be good. But yeah, we're going to do that hopefully Friday night. And I guess go back and look for a March 23rd video if you're watching this kind of after the fact, after it's been posted. You can see that at youtube.com/classicleet. Well, Dustin, congratulations to us. We have passed 10,000 subscribers on YouTube for the 5th time.
Oh, yeah.
I said 5th weird. For the 5th time, so congratulations to us. Hopefully it'll still be number 5 next week and we won't have an announcement. But sure enough, after we post a video, we lose a couple subs and then they come back a couple days later. It's got to be an algorithmic thing. There's no way that a sub drop and bump back up so precisely and I don't know, consistently. You can almost like set your watch to it. Like, I posted a video, there goes 3 subs, 48 hours.
9,997. It must be Monday.
Right? That's how you know that I've posted the podcast. So, yeah, and then if you would like to join the live chat that we do have for this video game podcast, we record that and broadcast at YouTube at a YouTube channel on Wednesday nights, approximately 8:15 or 8:30 Eastern time. So, yeah, man. I guess outside of you being a little foggy, anything you wanted to talk about before we get into some gaming news?
No, let's do it.
All right. Well, some sorcery looks to have actually come true, Dustin. A couple months ago, I remember Dumaz talking to us about these cables, and I remember seeing a story. I know we talked about it, about these HDMI cables that have anti-aliasing built into the cable, so they're supposed to help with, I guess, the jaggies on anything you throw through it. And Digital Foundry, some really intense scrutinizers said they work. They're like $150, but they round off the edges on some games. It was really a really cool, interesting video. We also, hey Ken, good to see you again. Zarek, what's going on? Hey Zarek, check your DMs on Twitter. Vprick, good to see you again. Yeah, thanks for coming by. Looks like it's Zarek Raid. So hello to everybody, and if anybody new is joining from Zarek's channel, thank you and welcome. Zarek,
I feel like Jaggies would be a derogatory term for a group of people in like a retro future movie.
Ooh, yes. Oh, give me some Hyperlight Drifter, but Denis Villeneuve like puts it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I thought about Zarek today. No Clip, Danny O'Dwyer's video game documentary, released the second half of their Warframe documentary.
All right.
Zarek had all those Warframe. Gosh, all of 2017, he streamed a bunch of Warframe, which is very cool. Oh, Viper K. Viper? Is he correcting my pronunciation?
How do you pronounce your name?
Yeah, if you could phonetically type that out, it really trips me up, and I apologize. I used to work in HR and do recruiting and stuff, and I'm horrendously bad at predicting the way names are pronounced. It was really rough.
Are you like what was his name? Keegan Michael Key, and where he's playing the teacher? He's like Aaron.
Oh, that's one of my favorite skits. There's not very many. I find those guys to be real funny, but that is an amazing skit. Yeah, I kind of do feel like that. Hey, Ron. That's a really good one. That and whenever they do the college football players, I find that really good. Did you watch Get Out?
Not yet.
I heard that it did really good at the Oscars, but I heard it's a really good movie. But it's not a comedy, right?
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
Yeah, and it was is that Peele that did that, or
yeah, Jordan Peele.
Okay, cool. But so this Digital Foundry, these anti-aliasing HDMI cables, essentially they showed that there is no perceptible latency, and particularly some Switch games were really improved by it. But it seems like if a game already has anti-aliasing in it, then it's not really that effective, and it doesn't remove shimmering in certain things. Bloodborne was an example they used on the PS4, and they also said Breath of the Wild did not benefit from these cables very much because of the fact that there was anti-aliasing built in. But a game like Mario Kart had a nice improvement because there was no aliasing native in that game. I believe Rocket League was another one they pointed to that was really good. So,
is it 8 Mario Kart 8 that's on
8 Deluxe?
Okay.
So the difference with Deluxe is they changed the way the items worked a little bit, I believe, and they redid the battle arena stuff, and then they also included all the DLC. So you get all the Zelda stuff and all that. Oh, he says so Viper says the K is silent. It's Viper. It's a Russian name. Very cool. I never would have said. Now is it Vepper or Viper?
I'm reading Vepper.
Okay.
I feel like it would be too easy if it was Viper.
Okay. Again, help us out. But he has got Vepper.
Yeah.
Veper. That's what you were saying, right? And
yeah,
I was saying Viper?
Vepper.
Okay. Vepper. Thank you, Vepper.
Viper sounds like a 90s technology. It's like a beeper, but it only vibrates.
That would have been amazing. You really were born like 15 years too early. You could have made with your love of cyberpunk and Japanese stuff, you would have been a naming god back in the late 80s, early 90s.
I'm going to start my own marketing company.
Do it. I'll if you're hiring, let me know.
Okay. This is a marketing podcast from now on.
Okay. Well, and Billboard news today. The zoning laws in the state of Ohio We actually did at work. We did get a new. We were denied a permit for a new Billboard location and successfully appealed the state. And our association lawyer gave us the impression that this is maybe the first time that's ever happened, which was cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it wasn't because we were right and they were wrong. It was just a lack of communication. So we just communicated. It's amazing how well that works. Instead of being adversaries.
Did you yell Billboard Liberty or Death?
Pretty much, yes, we did. With our instead of pitchforks, we used the rods that would hold the sheets in place. Okay, it was a bad joke.
Did you say if you don't put our billboard up, you hate children?
Yes, it works every time. They had no retort.
You should have just gone into the mayor's office and screamed, you know who else hated billboards? Hitler. Hitler
hated billboards. Actually, he probably loved them. If you think about it. But I digress. But the Digital Foundry stuff was amazing. I just got to say the fact that now it's expensive, $150. It should, this is actually doing what Monster Cables have been promising for years and years.
Yeah,
and that they do actually use extra power. There's a USB cord that connects to one of the heads of the HDMI cable.
Huh.
So there's some power to go into the processing.
Cool.
Also, there could be some issues where if your TV does processing differently, there could be some conflicts there. But
it'll explode.
It wasn't snake oil. That would be wild if HDMI cables torched your TV.
Yeah.
Like, no. So, okay, Zarek, hey, thanks for checking your Twitter. Awesome. I guess we should mention, Dustin, over the next couple of weeks or months, the podcast can get a little spotty. I'm taking vacation the first week of April, and you've got a baby on the way. Mm-hmm. So, Zarek is going to help out a little bit here, it looks like. So, keep your fingers crossed. I'm hoping I can maybe convince Tony to make an appearance as well. And my thought process is going to be, cool, we'll get Zarek on whenever he's available. And Dustin, if you can make it, you can make it. And if you can't, you can't. Because podcasting with Zarek would be easy if you were here or not.
Right.
So, but yes, you got the little one on the way.
When he's on, I want him to talk about a game he hates, and we can call it the litter box.
You really are an incredible marketing person. Like, holy shit, that's a great idea. The litter box. Be like, Jim Sterling would love that. It just seems like that kind of a cheeky, I'm going to be an asshole sort of a segment, which I find funny. So next up, you remember Hyperlight Drifter? Did you play that at all?
I was super into it, but never played it. Like I look like it looked like something I would play, but I never got around to it. Is what I should say. Probably
the sexiest remake of a cart. Maybe the sexiest game cart of all time. It's kind of this light blue, I don't know, just awesome looking cart, but it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that was on the show.
Yeah, it was gorgeous, and I've only got about a half hour in, so the pixel art's incredible. The music's really good. It was difficult right out of the gate, and I just wasn't in the mood. But it's coming to the Switch, so this may be a game that I repurchase. Something about the Switch just being right there handy. I don't know. It's an awesome game from all accounts, and it's a cool developer. So I'm happy to see. I don't know, just more games with the Switch. These indie games are really keeping the Switch afloat right now while we're waiting for another big release. But man, I mean, Hyperlight Drifter, that's awesome. Also, Mark of the Ninja. Did you ever play that?
Which one was it? Was that the side-scrolling one?
Yeah, it's like side-scrolling stealthy.
Yeah.
And everyone said, I don't like it. A common comment, I should say, was, I don't like stealth, but I loved Mark the Ninja. I own both these games on Steam, but Hyperlight Drifter, I don't know. Something about... I've noticed that when I buy a game on my PC or my Xbox, I have been more likely to finish it. And my PC and PS4, I for some reason, have not been as motivated to complete the games. It's weird.
The Switch moves so fast. Like, it comes on and it loads everything so fast.
The UI is games first, and that's just amazing. It's really nice. Which is probably a happy accident on their part. It doesn't seem like Netflix hasn't made an app for it, and it might just be they're lucky that there's no other way to do their UI. Like, just get them in games and forget about what's not here.
Yeah. All the other stuff that's not there is stuff I ignore anyway, so it's perfect for me.
Right? It's pre-curated. It's anti-bloatware. You don't have NFL Mobile on your Switch that you can't remove unless you root your phone.
Right.
So now, the next story, did you get a chance to read this? It's finally something from Polygon that I really loved.
I scanned most of it.
You probably already know it, but you want to tell people what we're talking about?
So Jeremy Parish wrote an article for Polygon on how Castlevania Bloodlines is a forgotten masterpiece. And he goes into how there's basically 3 games that haven't been put on every virtual console that's ever existed, and that is Belmont's Revenge, Castlevania 2, which there must be some sort of weird licensing thing for that game, because there was a 20th anniversary Portrait of Ruin, like pre-order or something or other, that came with a music compilation CD, and that game wasn't on there, despite the fact that it has probably the best Game Boy soundtrack, period. Like, of the whole system. Like, it is incredible how good it is.
It's going to be a lot of Game Boy Castlevania talk today.
Legends isn't on any of the virtual consoles, and Bloodlines isn't on any of the virtual consoles. And
what's crazy is he gets into the stuff that you've talked about on the show a lot, with Castlevania Chronicles bringing over the Sharp X68000. That was in the article, so it's a really deep dive. But it also it talks specifically about gameplay mechanics, characters, and the transition from 18-bit to 16-bit hardware, and why it is such a good game slotted in the Castlevania line. And I don't know, it makes sense to read. It's not like an impenetrable thing, even though it's a super deep dive. Everything he says makes perfect sense. It's easy to follow. Mm-hmm. It's not, we'll say Japanese to keep it consistent. It's not like reading Japanese for us.
Oh, and he pointed out that Haunted Castle is available on PS4, which is a arcade version of the Nintendo game. That's not very good, but it's still available, and you can. I downloaded it. I didn't know it was there.
But that proves his point even more. Like, what the hell? How is this gem not being given anything? And I forget her name, but the girl that's made tons of the new Castlevania music, or Symphony of the Night and all that stuff. This is her first game.
Yeah, Michiru Yamane.
That's
Michiru Yamane.
MMY, yes. Definitely the initials I remember from the article. That's really cool. And the soundtrack's incredible. I can't believe this is a first-time Castlevania composer. It just feels correct. Some of the other differences pointed out from like a gameplay, when I was scrambling a few minutes ago to think of an example of something. This is a Castlevania game where the terrains are really different. They go to different places in Europe, and that allowed the level designers to take different approaches to how the levels were set up, and he gets into some really neat graphical stuff that emulated what the Mode 7 processor for the Super Nintendo was doing. And it's not that long of an article. It's a really quick, easy read. Jeremy Parish is really excellent. Hey, it looks like The litter box is a well-received name in chat. As Eric says, there's some Bloodstained news. He says they proudly announced some art changes for the first boss that we've already seen. He said the changes are smaller boobs and less colorful. He thinks some activists got to Iga. I don't know if they got to him. He might just be like...
preemptive. Like, you know what? I don't want to hear a bunch of garbage about this. Let me just scale down these boobs.
The 90s. What the hell? Remember it was the totally other way? We were growing up.
Right.
So, our art changes, I'm not going to be too worried about it. And even if that is him self-censoring to avoid some issues, I mean, boob mechanics, who cares?
Yeah.
Right, boob size, it's not going to make a difference. Unless you're Fuzzy Zeller talking about women swinging golf clubs. For some reason, I remember there being a big controversy. I think it was Fuzzy Zeller. But, yeah, Jeremy Parish over at Polygon. Go read that. We got some more news for you here, Dustin. Oh, he did say we listen to feedback, according to Zarek. That's fine, whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
No dicks, no boobs. Everybody's a Ken doll and a flat Barbie, and just get video games. I don't care what people look like in games.
What does the double jump feel like? That's what I care about.
That's really important.
Yeah.
God, double jump. Vector Man had an amazing double jump.
Yeah. I need to play that game more often.
Vector Man was a little too big, though, so without the double jump, you would be consistently hit unfairly by stuff. At least the double jump allows you to react.
Yeah. It's all that blast processing. They couldn't keep him. They couldn't make him smaller.
I got Vector Man on the mind because I tried to do a Vector Man Smash Brothers entrance meme related to last episode for artwork, and I was like, this is too much work. There wasn't like a real simple like drag and drop template I found in a 5-minute Google search, so I just gave up. And
story of my life.
Yeah, right. So that's why SLC Punk is now I found a really cool SLC Punk Matt Lillard thumbnail. I'm like, that works. That's better. So okay, yes, but this next story is for you, Dustin.
Yes, CD Projekt Red is creating a new studio, and its sole purpose is to support. It's to help out development of Cyberpunk 2077.
I would imagine this will be all like support tickets, expansions, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, DLC, that kind of thing.
They weren't kidding about being really confident and going pretty... They're leaning really heavily into this game.
Yeah. Good.
Do you think that there's some like Polish tax laws that like it mitigates their losses if it does flop? Like you're allowed to bankrupt a company if it's a subsidiary without the main company's assets being liable, or if there's something weird like that to it, or if it's just they're like, no, it just makes more sense to have a studio dedicated to it. We're going to need that many people anyway, so let's just open a studio instead of contracting it out. I don't know.
I feel like they're like the OG 9-inch nails of the video game world.
The CD Projekt?
Yeah, where they're just like, this one album, we're going to put all of our effort into it for like 5 years.
Yeah. Man. You know, when you look at the way that Trent Reznor put together The Fragile, especially coming off of Downward Spiral,
mm-hmm.
and also the new Tool album's coming out. I already complained about how much that's going to cost me. That's going to be 12 years by the time that thing releases. Dustin, hearing this makes me that much more excited about playing a big open world game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mike T hooked me up with a copy of Witcher 3, which was very nice, and I enjoyed the game more than I thought. And I don't know, just something about the effort that they're putting into it has me actually looking forward to a game in this genre that I've never considered buying a game like this, like right out of the gate, day one. Do you think it's maybe a concern from them? Like they're like, oh man, just like The Witcher, we're gonna have to redo all the combat. So just start working now. But The Witcher 4 is also in production.
I don't know. They seem kind of. I don't know enough about CD Projekt Red. I should watch. Isn't there? What's his face do a documentary with him?
Yes. No clip from
Yes.
Warframe guy. Yeah, and it's excellent.
I need to watch that because I feel like they're just like super punk rock, and they're just like we're doing what we're doing.
It totally comes across that way. Yes.
Okay.
I think that's accurate. At least based on that documentary and some other quotes and stuff that I've seen. I'm excited, man. I never would have ever thought I'd want a big open world Cyberpunk game. But here I am. I don't know, but what are there any tropes that you're nervous about? Or do you not care if
Okay. So as long as the main storyline doesn't involve whether or not a machine can become sentient, or if sentience itself conveys like a soul.
Okay. I'm with you.
I'm real sick of that.
That's the low-hanging fruit in the cyberpunk world.
Yeah.
Now, it's been done well, but I'm with you there. I'd like to see them kind of like the way that the first or the new Blade Runner were right out of the gate. They're like, there's no question Ryan Gosling is a replicant.
Yeah.
So it would be nice here if they're like, this is your friend. Or, there won't be any heartstring pulls. They're going to say, no, they are sentient. Some people are bigots or whatever, but that's your buddy.
Yeah.
You care about them. Just like
Exactly.
you would your brother. Like, give me that and I will buy in.
Yeah.
And then maybe you make moral choices from there and then have really fun combat. And, yeah. I'm excited, man. I can't believe that. I wonder what platform I'm going to get it on.
All of them.
Well, that's a huge studio. To buy them a round of beers, I'll have to do that, right?
Yeah. That's a good point.
So
there's 2 studios now. Damn.
Buy new consoles just to buy them new games. Zarek says, speaking of Cyberpunk, Bethesda's next big RPG may be based in the future, so either Cyberpunk or Space, maybe both. They're both trying to add another game into the Elder Scrolls Fallout schedule. Cool.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, I burn me out on Cyberpunk because, vampires and zombies, we can all take breaks from them. So,
yeah.
Burn me out on futuristic weirdness, and then we'll do Cyberpunk zombie games, and it'll be a wonderful time in the nursing home when that all comes together.
I'm telling you, man, the Order 2086. That's what needs to happen.
The werewolves and flying boats, but in the future, I'm
Cyberpunk werewolf.
That's right. I do remember you talking about that. I'm on board with that, especially if they can keep it to only like 5 hours.
Yeah,
for me, that's perfect.
I want to fight Dracula with a freaking laser sword.
That'd be great.
And like 15 badass assault rifles.
Yeah, and have them be like silver nanobots that can form so it's effective in the way silver is against those monsters or whatever. That's just werewolves, right? But you can make up some bullshit video
vampires too.
Okay. You can make up some bullshit reason why these little silver coated nanobots are able to form swords and different weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's like, his base is on a moon somewhere, and he stays perpetually in the dark side, so there's never any sunlight.
And he gets to hang out with Elon Musk over there.
That's right, and
hiding his cars and his ships.
Badass Tesla. Dracula's Tesla. That's what we'll call it.
There you go, Dracula's Tesla. Yeah, Roger Waters will come out of retirement, write a song for us. As Eric says, a future post-apocalyptic Dark Souls game. All right.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
That's almost like you having like someone put like pizza in your peanut butter sandwich, though. Like at some point, there's too much combination for you. You know what I mean?
I don't know. That might be good.
I'd try it. Actually, probably would be. Peanut butter on pizza is probably low key amazing. So yeah, okay. You ever forget things are an inside joke?
Yeah.
I almost just said an inside joke. My brother would have gotten it. That's the only person out there. Wolfmark's listening. Welcome to CC's. So, anyways, Twitch has some big news coming. The rapper Drake was streaming some Fortnite with their biggest creator, Ninja, and I rolled my eyes. I see an anime blue-haired dyed kid playing with Drake. Admittedly, I haven't taken a deep dive into the Drake catalog. I have not heard a song by Drake I've ever enjoyed. So I kind of rolled my eyes because he's super famous, and I'm like, whatever. And then I saw an interview that this kid Ninja did on CNBC, and he admitted that he makes $500,000 a month on Twitch. And I was really impressed with him. Awesome. If that's who the mainstream media is going to latch on to, as far as asking him about Fortnite or Twitch or making money on the internet playing video games, what a good representative he is. Like,
cool.
You get past his anime haircut in 2 seconds after he starts talking. He mentioned how he got really big while he was in school and still finished. He recommends that everybody does finish school. Or don't put all your eggs in the internet video game basket. He just comes across as a really level-headed guy, and he's really young and making a ridiculous amount of money, so that's even more impressive. If I was 20 years old and I was making $500,000 a month, I would be unbearable on CNBC.
Yeah.
He was not, so that's good for all of us. Anybody that makes content on YouTube or Twitch, maybe in a couple years, it won't be weird when someone meets us and they find out we do a podcast. Instead of being like, what's a podcast? They're like, oh, you do that? How's that work? Or, oh my God, what's that like? I don't know. It might be a different set of questions versus, do you know what a blog is? Can we start at a blog? I just thought it was great. And I'm happy that people can get rich making content on the internet. And I'm glad that it's not, even someone like PewDiePie, who I do like PewDiePie. I think he makes some really good videos now. I was not a fan early on, but I really like his stuff over the last couple of years. But the media didn't treat him fairly. The media was like, he's a racist and he's too rich making dumb videos on the internet. Ninja was not treated that way. And that's awesome. I don't think PewDiePie was treated fairly, but that's still the narrative that was out there. It was negative.
Yeah.
It's all racist people. It's all people screwing up and all that. Ninja did not come across that way. So, awesome. Yeah, maybe we won't be getting, by year 10, Dustin, we won't be getting weird looks when friends find out we do internet stuff.
Yeah, that's rad. Are they going to be like, wow, do you make like $500,000 a month?
Like, fuck yeah, we do.
Yeah.
You say yes. If somebody asks you if you make $500,000 a month, you say yes.
Of course I do, yeah. I just like to live below my means. That's how you keep your money.
Right? The 9 to 5 is a facade.
I do that so I don't get bored.
Right. So, that's very cool. I was very guilty of not giving, of judging this person before I saw anything of them. I had never heard of them before the news story, so I shame on me, and I'm very excited that I was proved wrong. His name's Tyler Blevins, Ninja on Twitch.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I do like that he said don't put all your eggs in the internet basket.
I mean, you really watch the video. It's a good 3 or 4 minutes, and it's just like, yes, trot that kid out there, and get him on news streams. Let him do Good Morning America videos. Don't have Logan Paul out there,
Right,
saying I'm sorry that I was filming suicides in a forest. Instead, be like, hey, show this kid who's not a college dropout, is rich, and hangs out with the most famous rappers in the world online, playing a video game.
After like the third algorithm change or fourth algorithm change for YouTube, and people just keep whining about how now they don't make money or they may not make money. Like, do you think maybe that you should do something else, or maybe start investing in a different? Like, maybe you should change things up before your livelihood is just literally knocked out from under you, instead of crying about it.
Yeah. And also, he said a big portion of the earnings he gets on Twitch is because of Twitch Prime.
Oh, right on.
Which is, man, Twitch Prime. Did we skip that story? I forgot to put it in the notes. We'll talk about that in a second. That Twitch Prime subscription, I guess it's $3.50 that goes to the creator. I'm never going to get rid of of Amazon Prime because of the shipping alone. Just the holidays, the shipping around the holidays alone gets me through it. So the fact I get to tip people $3.50 a month, if everybody does that, that's a substantial amount of cash going to creators. And I never watch Twitch. I shouldn't say never, but I probably watch an hour of Twitch a month. Maybe, yeah. But I subscribe to somebody every month. So yes, please do that. And also, Twitch Prime is starting to give away 5 PC games a month. This month they had Super Hot, or no, next month this month is Super Hot and Headlander. There were like good games in there. Oxenfree. I mean, stuff that we see other places, but still, what if you don't have PSN or Xbox Live and you have Prime? Here's a way to get, not free games, but included games.
Yeah.
So if you're getting good games to play and you're able to donate to creators, that in and of itself is justifiable for an Amazon Prime subscription now. From a gamer perspective.
Yeah.
Like for gaming alone, you can subscribe to Amazon and it'd be worth it. That's amazing. Also, the interface is excellent. The Twitch app on Windows, it's fantastic. It's like a combination of Steam and Twitch.
Cool.
The UI.
It's so weird that there are apps for Windows. That still trips me out.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Eventually, we will stop looking at desktop and mobile as different operating systems, but it's going to take me a long time.
Yeah.
So yes, next we got a Vita story, or a callback to a Vita. Were you able to check this out?
Lumines is being remastered, and it's coming to like everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
PS4, PC, Xbox,
and Switch.
And Switch, yeah. 4K. And for people who don't know, Lumines came out, man, a long time ago. I think like 2004 for PSP. And it's a rhythm-based puzzle game. It's a musically inclined rhythm-based puzzle game.
Electronic Symphony.
Is it Mizuguchi who did that?
2004. It was re-released in 2012. Would that be the name of the person or the company?
The developer. I can't remember what the
Q Entertainment?
Was. Yeah, it's definitely Q.
Namco Bandai Games is on here. Ubisoft is on Q Entertainment it's a Lumines is a trademark of Q Entertainment. Those guys were just on the Bombcast.
Yeah, Tetsuya Mizuguchi.
Okay.
He did Rez and Lumines,
Cool.
Child of Light, I think.
One of the few Vita games I have. Like physical copy. Yeah, it's like
Way to go.
Tetris meets Puyo Puyo meets, I don't want to say like Rock Band, but like Technica.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with like Japanese touch rhythm games. It's a headphone game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good with headphones. Yeah, that's coming soon. In May. Thumbs up.
That's awesome.
And lastly, physical copies of Sonic Mania are coming out.
Physical copies.
Physical copies.
That's so awesome.
That game deserves a physical copy.
Hell yes, it does.
And you get new some new characters.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an encore mode, which I don't know what that's going to be. But that's cool. New characters, new modes. I forgot to look when this is coming out. Did they release any summer? It says. The graphic says summer. It'll be on Switch, Xbox One, and PS4. $30.
Yes. Immediate purchase.
I will not. But if I have it on Switch. That's my preferred platform for it. I do wish I had. If I see it for $10, I'll buy the physical copy, just to have it. What platform are you gonna go with? PS4.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I'm so glad this wasn't a limited run game.
Yes, and that it's a full support
Yeah.
by Sega. Yeah, I agree. I love the idea of limited run games, and I don't envy that position that they're in, but
Right.
it does suck that it is limited runs and it has a lot of scarcity there.
Yeah. I mean, it's rad if you get a copy of it, but
Absolutely.
if you don't, you're screwed.
Yeah,
You are screwed.
It's a bummer. But you know, at least they're willing to take the risk to get those lots out that they are. So, but yeah, Sonic Mania Plus, $30. It's coming. It's definitely worth $30. I don't think I paid $30 though when it came out. I want to say it was only $20. Maybe only. No, it wouldn't have only been 10.
Was it 15?
I don't remember. I'll look up a receipt maybe if somebody cares. Let's see. Oh, Zarek says, by the way, Mike Matei has a sub button on Twitch, so that's another person to drop your Twitch Prime on. Yeah, absolutely. I will go follow him after the show. I've been in a rotation of Easy Allies and Day 9 have been my favorites to... I forgot to put the Dark Souls retrospectives. Did you see parts 4 and 5 came out for Dark Souls?
Oh, I did not.
So part 4 is Bloodborne and part 5 is Dark Souls 3.
Oh, yes.
You have like 40 or 50 minutes of Easy Allies that you've never watched.
Man, I'm not sure if I saw 3. I don't even remember. I'm gonna
Just start from the beginning, just to be safe. Yeah. My buddy, who's a huge Dark Souls fan, was complimentary of their videos so far, which is cool.
Righteous.
Easy Allies is awesome. Yeah, I've mentioned our buddy Biff McSkylark. He's someone that I subscribe to every now and again as well. It's just fun. Giving cash to people for being cool. That's how Danny O'Dwyer, I've done that for NoClip, just because, like, well, you're on Twitch, so I've never watched one of your streams, but that last documentary was amazing. Here's $3.
It's not even my money, so go for it.
Yeah, man. Also, I heard a rumor that Amazon may be buying some of the Toys R Us stores. You want to talk about overnight being just everywhere in the physical world? That'd be wild. If they had Whole Foods and then they just... Maybe that was just a speculative tweet and maybe there was nothing to it, but keep an eye out. That'd be crazy.
Oh, I tell you what. If they reinstated like the cage and the slips that you can pull, like what if they? Oh my gosh. Okay. here we go. This is what's going to happen. They're going to buy all the Toys R Us stores. They're going to take all of their physical copies of old retro games and put them in the cages. And you're going to go and buy your old retro games by getting the slip and taking it to the cage.
That would, for like 3 years, that would be the coolest goddamn thing in the world. That would be awesome. Yeah. I didn't live near a Toys R Us was a super treat for me to go to. The closest one was about an hour away. And it was every now and again, my mom would make me go to Kids R Us, or that stupid clothing bullshit.
Oh, that's the worst.
That was horrible. But if we went to Kids R Us, we also got to go to Toys R Us.
Okay, that'd be worth it.
So it was, yeah. We had, in our town, it was called the Family Toy Warehouse, which is a great name for a toy store. It's now a Staples, but it still smells the same in there. The Staples still smells the same as the Family Toy Warehouse. So I got my first bike, my Huffy. Huffy Nevada with the most like 90s like paint you've ever seen.
You should get one of those and just ride around that Staples.
That would be amazing. Wait, see how long they wait till they kick me out. So, yeah, that's going to be it for the news this week. So, Dustin, it is time to talk about our YouTube channel of the week.
YouTube channel of the week. Week. All right, I just today found a guy called David Stewart. He's probably named David Stewart. That's why he's called that. But he does movie reviews, and the one I watched was a Star Wars The Last Jedi analysis. And to give you an idea of what he thought about it, he named the video The Last Jedi is a hate letter to Star Wars and its fans.
Okay, I'm willing to watch that.
Yeah.
Despite me liking the movie.
And he talks about the way he breaks things down. He clearly has spent a lot of time reading, writing. He knows like how to critique, different ways to critique things. He gets political, but he gets political in a way that like Joe Rogan gets political.
Okay.
Like Joe Rogan will point out the fact that talking about things in just left and right is reductive, and it doesn't always reflect what's actually happening in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he reminds me of, David Stewart.
Okay, that's good. I have noticed, man, ever since I've went through and cleaned out our Twitter from people that just post negative stuff, calling people idiots. Even when I agree with them, like just the constant negativity. Boy, it was like maybe only 10 people.
Yeah.
And our feed is just nice and back to video games and funny memes.
Yeah.
With little touches of political stuff, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. It was just the people that it's like, this person's an idiot. Can you believe this? This is so dumb. And a lot of times I'd read it and go, yeah, that person is so dumb. But why am I thinking so negatively all the time?
Right.
Yeah, like, fine. If you post a political tweet and then you're also posting about your dog, sweet. We're good. Yeah. So, but David Stewart, how did you find him? Were you just looking for like movie reviews, or you said you just found the guy?
Yeah, I had time to kill, and I saw The Last Jedi is a hate letter to Star Wars fans, and I was like, well, yeah, I'll listen to this guy. Let's see what this guy has to say. I was like, yeah, all right.
You can always switch off if you don't like what you're hearing, right?
Yeah, right.
It was tough to not switch off from the Nostalgia Critic today. He released a video dogging on my Jungle Book. And he was correct. I watched the whole video. But he was hating on Jungle Book 2016, the new live action. I loved that movie. He wasn't wrong about his complaints.
Man, I hadn't watched a Nostalgia Critic in years.
He does really good still.
I think I stopped watching him when he stopped reviewing things that you would actually have nostalgia for.
Okay. That's fair. But if you are going to go watch any recent review of a new movie, you've got to watch his Rogue One review with Chris Tuckman.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, it was Rogue One. With, yeah, watch that. It's really, really good. I don't mind that he does some new stuff now. It is a bummer, though, when the critics shred movies I love.
Yeah.
Not always. CinemaSins did Ex Machina, and it's easily one of my favorite CinemaSins he's ever done. And that's maybe one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
So, it's not always bad. Yeah, I don't know. Last Jedi, did you disagree with any of his opinions?
No, I agreed basically with every one of them.
I'm excited to watch that now. That's cool.
Actually, the more I think about Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, the less I like them.
I could see. That's why everyone needs to go watch Annihilation. Because the more you think about that, the more you like it. The more you're like, oh, that's a good theme.
I need to see that.
I love hearing. I went and watched the CinemaSins, or listen on SoundCloud, the CinemaSins guys talk about that movie and their opinions. I've really enjoyed, like, YourMovieSucks.org did not like that movie. And half the CinemaSins crew liked it, and half didn't like it, and half loved it. Chris Stuckman loved it. So there's a really weird divide in that movie. Mm-hmm. And I would love to talk to somebody about it in person, like a real person.
YourMovieSucks.org did A Wrinkle in Time, and that's really good.
That's a great video. He hated that movie.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So, Dustin, you're up to some shenanigans.
Yes. I went and we did it. My buddy and I and our wives.
Oh, the wives went. I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, they went up there with us, but they didn't attend.
Okay.
They weren't prepared for that, even though they totally could have done it. Maybe, well, though some climbing. Well, let me just get into it. So, I took my buddy up to Louisville, Kentucky, and we went to Waverly Hills Sanatorium. And we went on a guided tour from 7:30 to 10 o'clock. And for those who don't know, Waverly Hills Sanatorium was a place where they put people with tuberculosis before we found a cure for it. And a bunch of people died there. And like every ghost hunting show that has ever been on TV has been in Waverly Hills, because it is one of the most haunted places in the world.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was awesome. The first place we went to was the Body Chute, which it's this chute that goes like 500 feet down. And it was originally for like moving coal and different stuff. Like I'm assuming when they got like bulk food, it was delivered there, and it moved up and down, because the right side is this big ramp and the left side of it is steps. So you could put something on it and let it roll down, and you could walk back up the steps. But at one point at Waverly Hills, there was a person dying every hour. So they stopped using it for supplies and started using that as a way to move bodies without people knowing, without the people who were staying there who might actually live seeing all their people die.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that was the first place we went, and we got to walk down it. And then back up it.
Was it just like super eerie?
Yeah. Man, it's creepy, because it is completely pitch black. The whole guided tour, there's no like flashlights allowed. So you're in there in the dark.
Awesome.
The only person that has a flashlight are the tour guides. And with a few exceptions, you could walk down the Body Chute with a flashlight on, because it was pitch dark and the tour guide wasn't going to go down there. They're not going to walk down it like once a day, every day for who knows how long. But it was, yeah, we did that. We took a selfie in the body shoot. That's my
nice
Facebook profile picture right now. After that, we went floor to floor. We went to the morgue. The morgue has like 3 slots in it for dead bodies. So of course, when one person started dying every hour, that just goes like they had to move those bodies because they had no place to store them. And they went through and told like all the experiences that people had on like the 5 different floors. And the coolest, okay, there were two cool things that happened that night. Actually, I'll go 3 cool. So we were in the morgue, and it was one of the parts where you could take pictures, and I saw somebody. So I was standing in a hallway, and the main hallway was to my left, and the morgue was to my right. And I saw a shadow to my left, and I thought it was a shadow from somebody's flashlight. So I turned and I kind of focus on it, and it was one of the tour guides standing there. But I didn't know that at the very start, so almost pissed my pants on that one. Because it was just this figure standing there. I was like, whoa! But not too long after that, it felt like somebody stepped on my foot, and I thought somebody was trying to move past me, but there was nobody there.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was actually just you and one of the other dimensions, and then there was just a slight crossover.
Yeah.
It can all be explained by science, Dustin.
That's right. I mean, more than likely, I was hyper aware, and the fabric on my shoe that moves in this very specific way and happens a million times a day, I just happened to notice because I was being hyper aware. Okay, the second cool thing that happened was we were all in this group, and this lady asked, like, "Hey man, why can't we take flash pictures throughout the entire tour?" And the tour guide was like, "Okay, so you can't do this because if you really need your eyes to adjust to be able to see things, and if you're snapping pictures with a flash, the only thing you're going to see the entire time is spots." And I pulled my phone out, and I could have sworn I turned the flash off, but I didn't. So right as they're saying, like, yeah, we don't have the flashes on, click, huge flash, everybody in the group. And I was like, oh, sorry, I'm that guy, sorry. But the best part was, there was a guy right beside me, and I had my phone basically right in his face. And when that flash went off, he reacted like I stabbed him in the eye with my finger. Like, that's how much he was like, oh! Because it had to be just like the brightest light with his night vision going.
Oh, I bet. You jerk.
And, okay, so the ultimate thing that happened that night was we were on the 4th floor, and they were like, we were in a group of about 20.
Okay.
And they split us up evenly-ish, and they were like, okay, look down this hallway, and as you look down the hallway, you'll be able to see shadow people move back and forth. And we're doing that for a few minutes, and people are like, ooh, I think I see something. Ooh, I think I see something. Blah, blah, blah. And at one point, like, we've been doing that for 5 minutes, and the tour guide's like, all right, now I need a volunteer. And I put my hand up, and it's pitch dark, nobody sees me. So I just immediately start like elbowing like women and children out of the way, like pushing people into stairwells. And I'm like, ooh, right here. And she's like, okay, walk down that hallway by yourself. So I walk like 50 feet down this hallway, and she's like, okay, hold your arms out to your side. So I'm holding out like, imagine for people listening, it's like if I was trying to balance on a balance beam, how I'd have my arms out. And people are like, ooh, oh, something happened. I think I see something low. This is it. Like the whole time. And so I'm down there, and she's like, all right, do you see anything? And I'm like, no. Do you feel anything? No. Do you hear anything? No. And I was standing there for a few minutes, and people are like, oh, I think I see something. Do you hear that? Is that footsteps? I'm like, ooh. And then she's like, okay, come on back. And I come back, and then somebody else goes down.
I can't believe you resisted the temptation to be like, just trolling the group, you know?
Well, I wanted, like, I'm super interested in, one, the paranormal, clearly, like, for anyone who knows me, but also just...
If no one was aware, his real last name is actually Aykroyd. So
right, yes. But I'm also just like, how much of like sitting in a dark room is just sensory deprivation? Like, how much of it is just like, yeah, your eyes are going to start doing stuff. Your mind is going to start filling in blanks. Like,
if I were to place a bet, 100%. 100%. But that doesn't change the fact that you're still reacting physiologically. Like, you're I can see. I'm fascinated by that too. You know, the psychology of top tens. Like, what is it that even if I'm aware, I can't help it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, man, I could just see you saying, I'm scared to turn around. I think something's over my right shoulder. And just have people see whether or not, you know, like, yeah, I see it. So please tell me that there's not like a gift shop section, right?
There is, yeah.
Does it totally break it for you? Or is it hidden enough where it's like, okay, this is like mom and pop enough, they need to keep the lights on?
It's the way that, okay, so you go there first. So I think that helps it a lot.
Okay.
It is a gift shop. It has like t-shirts and hoodies and like kind of like flashlights, the kind of stuff that you would expect. But it's also, it serves as like a staging area. So you get there and you get kind of like you're briefed basically on what's going to happen.
Okay.
Like, you will have people with you. You will not break away from the group. the guy before we could leave, he was like, all right, guys, before you leave, you got to give me one. And then we did that. And he was like, okay, before you leave, you got to give me a good ghost noise. And people went, ooh, like that. And he was like, okay, it's out of your system. I don't want to hear it in the building. It was funny the first 1,000 times. Don't do it. And then it was, you know, the normal safety stuff like, hey, you're not going to have flash photography, no flashlights. If you freak out, let somebody know and you'll get pulled out. We'll find you a way to get out of there. Like,
that's cool, man.
Yeah,
that's cool. I would. They need to put one of those cameras that they put on roller coasters down the chute. So I know you're not like riding down the chute, but just to snap pictures of everybody's face, like mouth wide open or looking scared, and then you get back to the gift shop and it's like, here's how scared you were. Would you like to buy a print?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Zarek in chat says, I wouldn't have been able to help it. I would have been started strutting down and singing Bee Gees' Staying Alive. Vepper agrees. That'd be funny. And Vepper also says that true night vision adjustment takes around 10 minutes. Sounds about right.
Okay.
Did you ever do that in grade school where you'd cover an eye?
Yes.
10 minutes seemed about what I remember from that. I'd say that's probably pretty accurate. So, well, cool, man. I'm glad you had a good time. It lived up to the hype. Did your buddy have as good of a time as you did? I know you said he was as big of a nut.
It was a blast. Like, we were in we just got done with the body shoot. We walked back up and we were like, all right, we need to come back here with rollerblades. Like, to rollerblade down the thing. That would be rad. And when we were done, there's a 6 hour overnight, like like a paranormal investigation, not a tour. Like you get to go through and investigate, and we're cool. we're totally down to do that.
Man, I wish. I would love so much to take you to OU, and walk you around the scary stuff there, because I believe they would do lobotomies at the Ridges, the haunted place that was put down, and yeah, oh man, so many cool things. So, well, good deal. Well, since you were I don't know, looking at shadows, did you play any video games?
I didn't actually.
Okay.
I did finish Altered Carbon though.
Oh, what'd you think?
It was okay.
Well, you finished it.
Yeah.
Couldn't be terrible.
I will give the second season a chance. Like I'll probably watch the first episode.
Oh, all right.
It wasn't awesome enough that I just like have to absolutely see every part of it. But
sure.
This isn't a super spoiler because it's literally like the first thing you learn about the universe is that basically people's consciousness is stored in like a little disc, and it goes in the back of your brain, and you can pull that out and put it in a different body, and you're just in that different body.
Mm-hmm.
And so they call the body sleeves. And so you're following this main character who is basically this consciousness in this disc, and he goes from one sleeve to another, and it's really hard to attach to that character because it's a different actor.
I could see that. Yeah, they should have taken the Quantum Leap approach, where just like in a mirror, there's a slight hint that they're a different person.
Yes, that would have been an excellent idea because, like, he's flashing back and it's a completely different actor. But the actor is Wei Shin from Sleeping Dogs, the guy who did the voice acting for Wei Shin. Yeah.
Oh,
once I heard his voice, I was like, "Oh, that's rad, dude! Awesome. Make that money."
Yeah, video games to Netflix.
Yeah,
which is weird. That's like an upgrade.
Yeah.
I that's cool, man. I'll check it out. I knew that premise. So yeah, I don't feel like that was much of a spoiler. I've heard it discussed in that manner.
Also, there's a great deal of full frontal nudity, so no, not safe for kiddos or work.
I mean, you have to assume that with Cyberpunk, right? And that like inherently rated R, like horror.
I think the best ones are. I think if it goes like PG-13, then you're probably going to lose something because the edge is kind of the reason it's there.
There's also while it's okay for Blade Runner, I don't want my protagonist in Cyberpunk 2077 to be a heavy booze drinker.
Yeah.
It just seems like a crutch. The thing I do like about the replicants drinking booze, though, is it does show you, I don't know, like a hint that their body works in a biological manner versus like RoboCop.
Mm.
But we don't need that. Like that's done a lot too. So well, cool.
Yeah, that's another trope that we could
do with that.
Set that aside. Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's oppressing. That's the whole. We already get that. We don't need. So, cool. Well, I guess I'll talk a little bit about what I've been playing, and then we got some comments from previous episodes. We'll call it a show. I was in the mood for some Super Mario, so I took my Wii U and I put it in my bedroom so I could play some Mario Maker. And that quickly turned into me going, hey, what do I have on my Wii? You know, because I transferred it over.
Mm-hmm.
Castlevania. Well, first it started with Contra Rebirth. I was playing some Contra. That game's awesome. But then I'm like, you know, I'll go ahead and I'll play the Castlevania Rebirth. You like it. The Mez's talked about it a bunch. That game's incredible.
Yeah.
The Castlevania, the Adventure Rebirth, the WiiWare is unbelievable. Now, Stage 4 is terrible.
Yeah.
The problem with Stage 4 is it gets tedious. You know what to do, and there's the room that is filled with the skull things that stack on each other.
Mm-hmm.
That just shoots a bunch of flames. It's not complicated to get through. but it's tedious.
Yeah.
And the time it takes to whip all those heads away is really annoying. And it's in a situation where since it's not difficult, you never lose health, but it takes several minutes to get back to try that mini boss again. And there is one head that leaves you the tiniest landing spot jumping over a ledge. But luckily, I love the music in that stage. And the first half of that stage is not a pain. It's that weird, like, doors don't line up kind of magic hall sort of thing. And, it's just...
Some of that music
sucks.
Some of that music is remixed Belmont's Revenge.
Is that the number 2 that you talked about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would probably agree with you then on that. I'll have to go listen to that soundtrack and see what I'm remembering. Yeah. Something really strange about Castlevania, The Adventure, is that there's no true save, but there is kind of a continue system.
Yeah.
So when you open the game up, if you hold the right arrow while you have game start selected, after about 4 or 5 seconds, a stage select screen pops up. But it only works on stages that you've beaten.
Okay. I don't even know that I knew that.
So it was such a... Well, I was so sick of playing stage 4 that I'm like, there's got to be a way to, like, skip stage 4 or something, right?
Yeah.
And there kind of is, but my problem is it takes me so long to beat stage 4. I've done it twice now. And when I turn the system off and back on, I can't select stage 5. I have to beat it. So it's a good half hour. It's probably maybe only 15 minutes for me to beat stage 4 now. But that's 15 minutes before I can even get to the point where I can start playing stage 5. And I hate stage 4, so I'm too frustrated by the time I get to 5. It'll just be one of those days I'm in a good mood, and I just won't care. I'm just going to be having fun playing games, and we'll eventually push through. The bosses are, for Castlevania standards, easy.
Yeah.
But for real game standards, that are still very difficult. And I struggle. Some of the mini bosses are brutal in that game. And Stage 4, I think the mini boss, there's like a fairy lady that has different attacks. I think she's harder than the big rock guy final boss in that stage. So, but Castlevania Rebirth is incredible. Or the Adventure Rebirth. And
get it while you can, people.
That's right, because you can only buy Wii points for like another couple days, I think. Maybe March 26th.
Yeah.
So, also, I've been thinking about maybe trying to play Mario RPG. I've never played that. 7 Golden Coins or whatever.
Cool.
I have it on Wii or Wii U or where it's buried in the Wii menu.
Yeah.
I hear that game's incredible, and I'm more open to the idea of a Square game with Mario characters and not a Mario game that doesn't play like a Mario game. I mean, there are a lot of people that think it's better than Chrono Trigger, and that was one of the few JRPGs I really loved. So
they're wrong.
There might be, but
there is no RPG better than Chrono Trigger.
It could be. It's still, if it can at least be argued, it's got me interested. It's got me interested is what I almost said. Like I was watching a boring Sea of Thieves. Is that what that new game's called? Yeah. So I've got pirates on the mind. I think it was a 40-year slip there. That game is not. It has the most amazing looking water I've ever seen, but it looks really boring. It looks like someone combined Wings of Icarus. Do you remember me talking about that? It's kind of like 6 people keeping a ship going. Like what? That mixed with No Man's Sky.
Okay.
So there's like not a lot going on, but you can like do little things in your boat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I The stream I was watching was Giant Bomb playing it, and it was really boring. And I like their personalities, so that's not a good sign. And I saw Peter Brown from GameSpot tweet like something to the effect of, "Sea of Thieves hasn't gotten my attention yet, but this was genuinely a cool moment." So I watched that 2-minute clip that they talked about, and they came across a Kraken. And I felt that was a very unexciting video. And maybe it's because it was out of context for me. I only saw a 2-minute slice of maybe a 3-hour stream. But I don't know. I'm not... I feel bad for Sea of Thieves. It was one of those things where you kind of felt bad. Amazing looking water. There was even a Forbes article that was posted that called it... like a 10% finished game.
Oh, wow.
Like brutal. And it was in Forbes.
Jeez.
And that's isn't that their big? Isn't that Microsoft's big like IP for this year?
Man, I hope not.
I heard someone describe it as it had an indie game feel. And based on the videos that I watched, it seemed to be true. I don't know. Yeah, Sea of Thieves. We're not going to play it. So, let's talk about some comments. Do you want to? We got some comments from Demez from 2 episodes ago. We got a comment from last episode. Which do you want to tackle?
I can do Demez's.
Okay.
Let's see here. He says, I think Mighty Number 9, the Mighty Number 9 whole situation was handled so poorly that it stink unfairly ruined the game. In my opinion, Mighty Number 9 is definitely a good game, very fun platformer with some cool, unique mechanics. I urge you guys to ignore the haters and give it a shot if you haven't. Not the Wii U version, not the Wii U version though. Its frame rate is pretty bad.
Yeah, definitely we'll try it. I mean, I have it downloaded or whatever.
8-year-old Demez loved Donkey Kong 3. You have to shoot him in the balls. How awesome is this? In no other game do you shoot the main enemy in the balls to win.
None that I can think of. So,
I really wish I knew of one. I would totally do my hipster glasses.
Yeah, well, actually
in the game Testicles.
Your naming is amazing tonight. Maybe you just need to be half asleep and slumped in a chair. And you just like turn into like some marketing savant.
Remember, if you are considering Titanfall 3, don't forget EA is going to rig the matches against you to make you win or lose at their whim with rigged matchmaking. You will think you had a good match and really you won, but really they faced you off against a bunch of noobs. That is EA gaming these days. I have no interest in that nonsense.
That's true. My excitement on Titanfall 3 is hoping that they make another fun campaign, but that's a really good point to bring up. EA's rigged matchmaking stuff.
Yeah.
Even if it is to drive like just microtransactions related to cosmetics, and maybe there aren't any pay to win mechanics, it's still he's right. Be wary of EA multiplayer for the rest of time.
Just forever.
Forever. I mean, seriously. Is that all you see?
There's the American Packers. You want to read that?
Yeah, or Pickers.
Okay. About American Pickers show. What about a porno version? An all anal feature.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to read that. If you were actually skipping that, I did not read that comment. Sorry, dude. I was. I'm
already halfway through it.
Might as well.
Dude walks in. Hey there. I really want that Vectrex, but I don't have enough cash to buy it. Anything I could do for it?
But will they get that way where they start doing deep retro dives into porn for the stories? Who knows? So we got a comment on the last episode. I just posted it last night, so sorry. I'm sorry to anybody that was... Wait, I think I may redo the release schedule. So I kind of want to do. I think maybe I'll reverse my workflow and try to publish the podcast on YouTube on Fridays, and then do the audio for Mondays and split it up that way.
Okay.
Because you can, Squarespace has some really good features, so I can, edit it all at the same time, but stagger the release depending on where it's at. Because our podcast does better on the analytics for the audio versions releasing on Mondays, and our YouTube videos do better when we release them on Fridays. So we try to stagger that. We'll see. But so a YouTube user left a message on our last video, and it just said, "Did you buy subs?" And I explained that no, we didn't. We've just slowly been gathering subscribers since 2010. And I said we were also lucky to get some shout outs from bigger YouTubers early on, and we've had a good handful of videos and tutorials or reviews and tutorials that have done really well. I think our channel's at 7.5 million views, so just out of dumb luck, you might accidentally get that many subscribers. Someone could try to close a window and click the subscribe button. Who knows,
Right.
But anyways, they responded to my explanation. They said that they were really just looking for reviews of old games to compare their ratings compare how games were rated back then to kind of how they're rated today, to try to calculate consumer pleasure for games as a project. And the way he said project, I'm assuming it's a school-based project, whether it's college or high school or whatever. Which I think is a really interesting idea to try to figure out. I believe the premise is that trying to see if people were happier with games back in the day, or are they happier with games now. It's tough to look at review scores as that because you don't have user reviews from back in the day. But I asked him, like, hey, could you send your findings over to us? I'd love to talk about what you find on the podcast. And he said, sure. I told him to check out the Pat the NES Punk guidebook.
Ooh, yeah.
Because that is a rating of every NES game. So at least he's got some NES games to go on, at least an aggregate from that, which would be really cool. What an ambitious project, even if, heck, if he's in 7th grade and he's doing that. It's a really interesting thing to try to quantify. Are we happier? Are we more pleased with our games back in the day than we are now?
Yeah, goodness, like, how would you even do that? What an undertaking.
Yeah. I do think that data points from reviewers are a good starting point, but, people were upset with ethics and games journalism a few years ago with Gamergate.
Mm-hmm.
That was nothing compared to how crooked it was back in the day.
Right.
Look how many terrible games Nintendo Power told us were good.
Yeah.
So you need people like Pat Contry to do those guides, or NintendoLegend.com. That's another. Mm-hmm. But again, that's just NES. There was on our channel. Maybe I should send them a link. I reviewed an Atari book that was similar to Pat the NES Punk's video, but I forget the name of it. It was like the Atari Encyclopedia or something. But that was someone that rated a bunch of Atari games. Talk about the developer. Bastard. Yeah. Man, Atari games. Very few are fun. Anymore. So. Yeah. I was just caught off guard that I thought somebody was... Because we have 10,000 subscribers, but we don't get a lot of video views unless it's a review or a walkthrough or something. So I was just answering somebody that I thought was accusing us of buying subs, and even if they were like, oh shit, they responded, and he made this whole thing up, that's a good response, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was neat. I didn't expect the conversation to turn out pleasantly.
Yeah.
So that's going to be it for the show. Right.
You never do on the internet.
Never do what?
You never do on the internet. Expect the conversation to go pleasantly.
No, yeah, it's fair to be assume the worst.
No.
But yeah, I that's why I'm really curious. Like, what's the method that they're going to do to try to quantify this stuff? I certainly we had lower expectations. It was easier to please. Like, we didn't think about reviewing games. Like, gaming then was so different because they weren't so easily accessible.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do chores to go rent a game or whatnot, not just do chores so you can buy gems. There was a lot more to it. So yeah, YouTube's a great resource though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Well, that's going to be it for the show this week. Any other closing comments?
Yeah, let me shout out a podcast. It is, wait for it, it's coming up. It is, come on, there we go. Horror Guy Keenan's Every Day is Halloween podcast. It just released episode 29.
Okay.
And he talks about how, one of the sections is he talks about how Toby Hooper was kind of snubbed at the Oscars in the in remembrance of. Nobody talked about him. And he has a pretty, like, 4 or 5 minute section of Toby Hooper talking about directing the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's pretty good.
Okay, that's who I was just Googling who Toby Hooper was. Really? So that guy passed away in 2017. It did Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't even get mentioned at the Oscars?
Yeah.
That's weird. Those are
right
iconic movies. Not even Poltergeist I don't view as like a horror movie. I view it like I do, I don't know, Alien.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know it is a horror movie and there's scary parts, but I don't know. I don't know how to quantify it, but I don't view it the same way.
It's like approachable horror.
Yeah, or like 28 Days Later. Like you it's more about the character development. I felt really bad for the parents in Poltergeist or the brother. How scary it would be to talk to your sister through the TV, or, you know, the room coming to life. You felt scared the way those kids did, I guess, instead of, you know, the gore in Elm Street or whatever.
It's also one of those movies where you go back and watch it as an adult and you realize how hot the mom is. Like, how did I not notice this as a kid? But she is smoking hot.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of older movies like that in my mind, when I was a teenager, it was like women weren't pretty until, like, they were my age, like, or until, you know, they were born in the 80s. Yeah. But you go back now and you look like the Young Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, see her and it's like, oh my God. Yeah. I love the innocence of a kid. I asked my mom one time, and I remember doing this, like when she got color, because in my mind, color wasn't affected by the television. Reality was all the television was showing. So when I saw something like The Little Rascals or Dennis the Menace, I thought the world was black and white.
Yeah.
I didn't think color existed until sometime between when my parents were born and when I was born. Color came to be.
Yeah.
Silly stuff. So, well, it's going to be it for the show this week. And one more time, the podcast.
Every Day is Halloween. Keenan McKellen. It's on Twitter. It's Hallows Eve 365, which is an awesome handle.
That is.
Man, it's so good.
My buddy, his uncle was an intern at Microsoft when Xbox was in beta. Xbox Live was in beta. screen name in Xbox Live is just chill.
That's awesome.
I was like,
that's
wow. Great. Wow. That blew me away. So, had to cough there. Sorry about that. Our RSS feed, if you want to listen to the audio versions of our podcast that I'm not sure when I'm going to be publishing, what day of the week, hopefully Mondays, is available at classicelite.com, our website. But also you can find us on any podcast service like Apple Podcasts or Google Play. Also Podcast Addict. I've been loving that app. I'm fully converted. Beyond Pod is dead to me. Podcast Addict is where it's at. Also on social media, if you'd like to interact with us, we are the most active on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Also SoundCloud. You can follow us on SoundCloud because I repost songs that I like that are video game related. Or if you'd like to support the show, we have Amazon affiliate links in the descriptions, or you can just watch our videos or leave us a rating somewhere if you enjoy us. Any of that stuff helps immensely. So, Dustin, I've changed my mind on the Richie Branson outro music.
Okay.
Now, I'm not changing my mind on picking an outro song and kind of sticking with it, except for weird circumstances. But the Richie Branson song is great for credits on a YouTube video. Mm-hmm. Did not flow well when it came to the exit of a podcast. So I'm just going to go through some artists that I really like that I know are Creative Commons, and I will be trying out outro songs throughout the year, I think. And I may be going back to some oldies, like some Cubby that I was listening to 5 years ago. Something that I know I still really like. I've really grown attached to Through the Forest. So I want a song that I know that I really like, and maybe I can just kind of get used to it. And I also love, I'm really jealous of how tight, like, the Bombcast and the Easy Allies podcast, they just, the end, and it's done so well with their songs, and I want to emulate that, and that'll also make it a little easier on my aspect from the editing and all that kind of stuff. So, oh, Yesha Kitten, I didn't see you here. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know what I'm gonna play this week. It'll be a Cubby song. I'll just say that. I'll limit myself to Cubby. There's been some other things, other artists that I'll look at. We'll see. But I'm gonna go with someone I know that we can get permission really easily. So,
word.
All right. Well, that's gonna be it for the show. Again, thanks you everybody that stopped by and hung out. Shout outs to Viper, Jim, Kickass Gamer, Zarek. Yasha Kitten. Oh, there it is. It's the Zarek raid right there. Sorry, man. And Ken Myers was also here to hang out. So good to see everybody. And keep an eye out. Zarek will come on the show here over the next couple of months. And, it's going to be spotty up until maybe June. But be patient. We'll still be around. And also Friday, we'll go to our YouTube channel. And hopefully we'll be playing some A Way Out. Dustin and I solving puzzles, breaking out of prison together. It's going to be awesome. Oh, yeah. So, alrighty, we will see everybody later, and enjoy whatever outro song I picked this week from Cubby. Oh, yeah. So, everybody, thank you very much for listening to episode 268 of the Classic Leaf Podcast. Your face was like,
do I say boosh? I don't know what to do.
And we'll see you next week for episode 269.
Boosh.
All right. Thanks again, everybody. I'm going to shut down the stream. I've got to use the restroom, so I will see you later. Bye-bye.
Peace.